Hi, I'm Lanny and this is Preserving Today, a Greener Pastures project. Today I'm going to show you how I make sourdough kefir waffles. You might be thinking to yourself though, Lanny, you only have 10 uploads, what the heck are you making another waffle video for? You must be crazy for waffles. Truth be told, I'm not crazy for waffles, but I did find this new recipe that includes sourdough starter and it is much better than my previous kefir waffle recipe, so check this one out. What's so special about these sourdough waffles? Well, they're more complicated to make, they take some pre-planning, you need sourdough starter, but they're way better than my last video, more nutritious and so friggin' tasty. My last waffle video was super quick and easy, very basic, near impossible to mess up, with no special ingredients except kefir, which you could easily sub for milk or buttermilk. So to recap, the other recipe is super easy, go check that one out if you want to make them right away, but if you have some pre-planning and some time on your hands, the sourdough kefir waffle recipe is the best. Yikes. Well, here's how I make sourdough kefir waffles. Okay, so you're going to need your measuring cups and spoons, salt, I use Redmond's real salt. You're going to need flour, and here I'm using einkorn flour. It's an ancient type of flour as I understand it that's never been hybridized, so I'm really enjoying it. It's tasty stuff. It's organic einkorn flour by Jovial. I'll put a link in the description with more information, and I'm using an all-purpose einkorn flour as well as a whole wheat einkorn flour. You're going to need kefir, of course. So first thing you're going to do is just measure out your 2 1/4 cups of flour. Here I'm using 2 cups of the all-purpose flour and 1/4 cup of the whole wheat flour, but you could try to experiment with different ratios and mix your whole wheat flour and your all-purpose flour however you like it. Just add a pinch of salt and just whisk the dry ingredients together. That's it for our dry ingredients. Set that aside. In a separate bowl, you're going to mix together your wet ingredients. I'm going to put 1/4 cup of warm water, 2 cups of dairy kefir. I didn't have a full 2 cups of dairy kefir, so I just made up the difference with some raw milk. Use a tablespoon of real maple syrup and 1/4 cup of your sourdough starter. And you want to use a ripe sourdough starter, one that's risen and not fallen again, something that's fed. Mix all of that together. Now you're going to mix in your dry ingredients to your wet ingredients. Stir it well, but no need to overmix. It's okay if it's lumpy. Now you're going to cover your bowl with a towel and set this in a warm spot for 8 to 12 hours. Most people, I would think, want waffles for breakfast, so you could start them the evening before and finish them in the morning for breakfast time. When I made this video, we decided to have breakfast for dinner, so I started this first thing in the morning and it was finished for dinner time. Next, you're going to need 3 eggs. And I use room temperature eggs always because I store my fresh eggs on the counter. If you're using eggs from the fridge, I recommend them sitting them out a little bit beforehand. You're also going to need 1/4 cup of melted butter. You could use avocado oil or olive oil, but the melted butter gives it a great flavor. Okay, uncovering my bowl, you can see it looks kind of puffy and the top of it's a little bit domed. It smells wonderful, a little bit sour like sourdough, and a lot of sweetness from that flour and kefir. You can see lots of little bubbles on top, but just wait until you stir into this. See, it looks like sourdough starter. There are so many bubbles and so much activity in here, it's great. Stir your eggs and butter into your batter, and while you're doing that, preheat your waffle iron. And I decided not to record me making waffles in my crappy waffle iron, so use your imagination and cook your waffles however you like to. There you have it. Waffles are done. Dinner's almost ready. I made some sausage and some scrambled eggs to go with these. You can see inside of the waffle is nice and airy and bubbly. They smell amazing. So much better than the first waffle recipe I made. And it's long fermented. So the yeast and bacteria in our kefir and sourdough starter have a chance to break down this grain for us so that it's easier for us to digest. Using einkorn flour and the fermentation process makes this wheat much more nutrient available for our bodies to absorb. So they say, you be the judge. Try out this recipe if you like and let me know what you think. I'm Lanny, and this was Preserving Today.